Far away from Earth, near the cold rings of Saturn, a small space station floated quietly in the dark. The station was old, with blinking lights and slow-moving machines. It was called Listening Post 7, and most people had forgotten it even existed. Inside, a young technician named Rian sat at his desk, staring at a screen full of strange symbols and quiet signals. His job was boring. He listened to space. His job was to catch any signals from passing ships or strange objects, but nothing exciting had happened for years. Rian was not a soldier or a pilot. He had never seen a real alien. He had only read about the Valari, a powerful alien empire that fought with Earth long ago. The war ended badly, and Earth lost. Since then, humans had kept their heads low in space, trying not to cause more trouble. Rian liked the silence. He liked being alone. But sometimes, at night, he looked out at the stars and wondered, is anyone out there who doesn't want to fight? One day, something strange happened. A soft beep came from his console. A signal, not human, not Valari. Something different. Rian leaned forward. The sound was clear, like a voice, but not one he understood. It repeated 3 times, then stopped. He checked the system. The signal was real, but no rule said he had to report it right away. So, out of curiosity, Rian did something he had never done before. He answered. He pressed the button and sent back a short message. Who are you? For a long moment, there was nothing. Then, the screen blinked. A message came back. I am not enemy. I seek the one who listens. Rian blinked. The message was in broken English. But someone or something had heard him. He didn't tell anyone. Every night he talked to the signal. The messages came slowly, one at a time. The sender said her name was Alan. She said she was not from the Valari. She said she was alone, traveling far from her home, and she needed help. Rian asked, "Why me?" Alan replied, "Because you listened." Then, 1 week later, everything changed. Rian woke to a loud alarm. The station radar picked up a small ship, unknown model, moving fast toward the station. His commander, Officer Bren, barked orders. "Get ready! If it's Valari, we shoot!" The Bawa ship stopped just outside the station. No weapons. No attack. Then the airlock light turned green. "Something just docked," Rian said, heart pounding. Bren shouted, "Security to the bay!" But Rian ran ahead. He reached the docking bay just as the door opened, and there she stood, Alan. She looked almost human, but her skin was soft silver, like moonlight. Her eyes glowed faintly blue. She wore a thin cloak, and her face was calm, but her eyes held fear. Everyone froze. Rian stepped forward. "You're real," he whispered. Alan looked at him. "You listened, so I came." Before anyone could speak, Bren pushed past and raised. "A weapon! Get away from it, Rian!" Alan didn't move. "I come in peace." "She's not one of the Valari," Rian shouted. "I don't care," Bren yelled. "She's alien. That's a risk." Alan looked straight at Rian. "Please, I need your help." The soldiers moved closer. Alan raised her hands, showing she had no weapon. Still, they grabbed her. That night, Rian couldn't sleep. He sat in the observation room, staring at Saturn's rings. Why did he feel guilty? Alan was locked in a cell. She had done nothing wrong. He whispered to himself, "Even if I asked, she'd say no." He was talking about Bren, about Earth, about everyone. They would never help an alien. Not after the war. Not even if she came peacefully. He sighed. I don't matter. No one listens to people like me. Then ask me instead. Ryan jumped. He turned. Alan stood behind him. How did you... I left the cell, she said. Locks do not hold Sayari minds. Sayari? He asked. My people, not Valari, not your enemy. She sat beside him, her silver skin soft under the light. You thought they would say no, she said. So you never asked. Ryan didn't know what to say. I listened, she said gently. Now I ask you, will you help me? He looked into her eyes. She didn't look dangerous. She looked tired, scared, and hopeful. He thought about Earth, about fear, about silence. Then he nodded. Yes, he said, I'll help. Outside, the stars stayed quiet, but something had changed. In the silence between stars, a voice had been heard. Alin sat next to him, quiet and calm. The soft blue glow from Saturn's rings reflected on her silver skin. Her presence was strange, but not frightening. She was not like the aliens people feared. She didn't talk about power or war. She only wanted to be heard. How did you get out of the cell? Ryan asked again, still confused. Alan looked at him and smiled softly. Sayari minds can move through simple machines. Your locks were easy. Ryan tried to stay calm. You can control machines? Some. Only when I must, she answered. I mean no harm. He believed her. Somehow he just knew. I need to know something, he said. Why did you come here? To me? Aline turned her head, looking out at the stars. I heard your voice first, she said. Your signal was not like others. It was soft, curious, no fear, no anger. My people, we listen for voices like that. Ryan frowned. Your people? Where are they now? Aylin's smile faded. They are hiding, she whispered. The Velari rule most of our worlds. They call us weak. They silence us. Many Sayari were taken. Some vanished. I escaped to find help. I believed humans were not like Velari. Ryan felt something twist in his chest. We lost a war with the Velari, he said quietly. Now Earth is scared. We don't trust aliens anymore. That's why Commander Bren wants to send you away. Aylin nodded. I know. There was a long silence between them. The stars outside twinkled, distant and cold. I can't make Earth help you, Ryan said. Even if I asked, they'd say no. Aylin looked at him. I don't ask Earth, she said. I ask you. Ryan turned to her. Why me? I'm just a technician. I push buttons. You listened, she said. That's more than most ever do. At that moment, the door behind them opened fast. Officer Bren walked in with 2 guards. There she is, Bren shouted. Step away, Ryan. Alan stood calmly. The guards raised their weapons. She didn't hurt anyone, Ryan said quickly. She just wanted to talk. She escaped her cell, Bren growled. She's a threat. She's not Velari, Ryan shouted. She's from a different race. She's still alien, Bren replied. And aliens lie. Ryan stood in front of Aylin. If you send her away, he said, you may be sending away our only chance. Bren's face was tight with anger. Get back to your post. She's being locked down until we send her off to Central Command. Ryan looked at Aylin. She didn't resist as the guards stepped forward. Her face stayed calm, but her eyes showed sadness. That night, Ryan couldn't sleep. He kept hearing her words. I ask you. She believed in him. But what could he do? Then he made a decision. He would help her escape. The next morning, Ryan went to the command bay. He pretended everything was normal. He acted bored, tired, and slow. But in his mind, he was counting seconds and watching guard shifts. Alan was in a lower holding room, only one guard at a time. The hallway cameras were old and sometimes froze. At night, when the station was quiet, Ryan moved. He walked calmly down the hall. In his hand, he held a small power key. He had made it from parts. During his breaks, it could open the door for 30 seconds. When he reached the door, the guard looked up. "Late shift?" the guard asked. "Yep," Ryan said. "Tech update. Commander's orders." The guard grumbled and stepped away for a moment to check. The screen. Click. The door opened. Alan looked up as Ryan stepped inside. "You came," she said softly. "I don't know why," he whispered, "but I trust you." She stood quickly. "Then we must move now." They slipped out before the guard turned back. Ryan used the key to lock the door again. They moved through the narrow tunnels of the station, careful and quiet. Most people were asleep. The dock bay was close. "How far is your ship?" Ryan asked. "Still attached." "But weak," Alan said. "The Volari may have tracked it." "Then we need to leave fast." As they reached the dock, the station lights flickered. Bren's voice came through the speakers. "Security breach. Alien. Prisoner missing. Lock all exits." Alan and Ryan ran. Alan reached out and touched the dock door. The panel blinked and opened. Inside was her small ship. Silver, smooth, and glowing faintly. "It's beautiful," Ryan said. "No time," Alan replied. "Get in." He followed her inside. The door closed. Outside, alarms rang louder. Guards shouted. Alan sat in the pilot's seat. Her hands moved fast over controls that looked like flowing water. "Hold tight," she said. The ship lifted, shook, then burst away from the station into the stars. They were free. As the ship moved into deep space, Ryan looked back at the shrinking station. "What now?" he asked. Alan turned to him. "We go where my people hide. I will take you to them." Ryan stared. "Me?" "You are the first human to listen," she said. "They must meet you." Ryan sat back, heart racing. He had no idea what waited ahead. But something told him this was just the beginning. Ryan had never traveled this fast through space before. Alan's small ship moved like light itself, smooth and silent. The stars around them looked like glowing rivers. The controls made no sound. There were no metal buttons, just soft lights, and waves of energy that moved with her hands. He sat quietly, still trying to believe what had happened. He had broken the rules. He had helped an alien escape. And now, he was flying with her to meet her people. Alan looked calm, focused on the path ahead. But Ryan could see that she was also tired. Her eyes, soft blue and glowing, looked even deeper now, like they carried too many memories. "How far is your home?" Ryan asked. Alan didn't look away from the controls. "Not far, but not easy." "What do you mean?" She turned to him slowly. "The Volari patrol the outer systems. If they catch us, they will not ask questions." Ryan nodded. "Then we stay hidden." She gave a small smile. "You learn fast." Hours passed. They crossed deep space, past dark planets and broken satellites. Finally, They reached a cold moon, covered in black rock and silver dust. It circled a quiet planet with no name. "This is Vera 9, Aline said. "A human mining colony. But quiet now, almost forgotten." Ryan looked at the surface. "Are your people here?" "Some," she answered. "And some humans who still believe in peace." They landed the ship near a group of old buildings, half covered in dust. As they stepped out, a cold wind passed over them. From the shadows, 3 figures appeared. 2 were human, one tall, one short. The third was not human, with pale green skin and large golden eyes. Alan raised her hand in peace. The figure stopped. The alien stepped forward. "Aline," she said in a soft voice. "Sarah," Aline replied, smiling. They hugged quickly. The tall human looked at Ryan. "And who is this?" he asked. Aline spoke proudly. "This is Ryan. He helped me escape. He listened." The man's eyes narrowed. "Earth won't like that." "Then Earth must learn to listen too," Alan said. Inside the colony, things were quiet but full of life. Small gardens grew under glass. Old machines still worked. People moved carefully. Watching the sky often, Alan and Ryan were taken to a large room where leaders sat. They were a mix of human and Sayari sitting together. Aline told them her story, how she escaped the Valari, how she sent signals, how only one person answered. She looked at Ryan. He chose to believe. The room stayed silent for a while. Then, a woman with gray hair spoke. "What does he want in return?" Ryan stood up. "I didn't help for a reward. I helped because someone had to." The Sayari leader, Sarah, nodded slowly. "That is a rare reason." A younger man, a human from Vera 9, stood. "But what now? The Valari will come. They will follow her ship's trail." "They will," Alan said. "And we must be ready." Over. The next few days, Rian learned more about the Sayari. They were peaceful, but not weak. Their technology worked with energy, sound, and thought. They used music to move machines, light to open doors, and memory to power systems. It was different from anything humans had seen. Aline trained Rian in some basics. He wore a small band on his wrist made from Sayari stone. It let him control simple machines with thought. He was amazed. "You're doing well," Alan told him. Ryan smiled. "Maybe I was meant for more than just listening." Together, they worked to help the colony prepare. Old weapons were fixed. Shields were set up. Scouts were sent out to watch the sky. Humans and Sayari worked side by side. Some still didn't trust each other, but many began to see hope. One night, Ryan and Alan stood on a hill above the colony. The stars above were sharp and clear. "I never thought I'd leave the station," Ryan said. "I never thought I'd find a human like you," Alan replied. He looked at her. "Do you think we can win if the Valari come?" "We won't win with just weapons," she said. "We win with belief in each other." Ryan nodded. He believed her. Just then a sharp light cut across the sky. An alarm sounded. A scout ran up the hill. "Valari ship just won, but it's close." Alan's face turned serious. "It begins," she said. The colony moved fast. Alan's ship, though small, had strong weapons. It rose into the sky, ready to defend. Ryan and the others took positions on the ground. He held a blaster. His hands shook, but his heart stayed firm. The Valari scout ship landed near the edge of the valley. It was large, black, and shaped like a blade. From it, tall, dark figures stepped out. Their armor was sharp. Their eyes glowed red. They scanned the area. One of them shouted in a deep voice, "Give us the traitor, and we will leave the rest." Alan stepped forward. "I am not yours to take." The Valari moved closer. Suddenly, Ryan stepped beside her. "She's not alone." The Valari laughed. "A human speaks for her? You lost once. Do you want to lose again?" Ryan didn't step back. "We're not the same as before." Without warning, the Valari raised their weapons, but before they could fire, a blast of light hit their ship from above. Alan's vessel had fired first. The battle began. It was short, but fierce. Humans fought with courage. Sayari used their strange powers, sound that broke metal, light that blinded. Ryan fought beside Alan, covering her with fire as she controlled energy fields. In the end, the Valari retreated. One of them was captured. The others flew away. The colony was safe, for now. After the battle, people cheered. For the first time, humans and Sayari stood as one. That night, by the fire, Alan looked at Ryan. "You could have run," she said, "but you stayed." "You trusted me first," he said. "Now I trust you," she smiled. "Then we are not just two voices anymore." "No," Ryan said. "We are one voice, one pact." He held out his hand. She took it. And somewhere in the stars, something ancient and powerful began to shift. Days passed after the Valari attack on Vera 9, but the memory of the battle stayed strong. The small colony was no longer silent. People moved with energy and purpose. Humans and Sayari worked side by side, preparing for what might come next. Aline and Rian had become symbols of something new, a friendship between two different worlds. Rian was no longer just a listener. He had become a fighter, a learner, and a leader. But deep inside, he still felt nervous. He had never asked to become important. All he did was believe someone when no one else did. That, Alan said, was the strongest thing of all. Inside the colony, a new group was forming, a small team of humans and Sayari who wanted to train together. They called it the Circle. They met every morning in the old training yard where sand covered cracked tiles. Ryan stood among them, learning how to aim better, move faster, and think quicker. Aline helped teach too. She showed them how to use small pieces of Sayari technology. Some tools could turn sound into shields. Others used light to confuse enemy sensors. One day, Alan gave Ryan a round stone that glowed faintly blue. "This is called Veen," she explained. "It listens to your mind. If you are calm, it will protect you." Ryan laughed. "What if I'm not calm?" "Then it will do nothing," she said with a soft smile. "Like most good things." Ryan wore it on his chest, just over his heart. That night, the leaders of the colony gathered again. The news from nearby systems was not good. Valari. Ships were moving. Not just scouts, full warships. Alan stood before them, her voice calm but strong. "The Valari know I escaped. They know I found humans who will help me. They will not stay quiet." The human commander, a woman named Mira, leaned forward. "If they attack again, we won't survive without help." "We have one chance," Alan said. "We must call the hidden colonies, the ones Earth has forgotten. They might join us." Ryan looked around the room. "What if they say no?" Alan turned to him. "Then we try again, until someone listens." The next day, Ryan and Alan left Vera 9 in her ship. Their goal was to reach the colony of Lyras, rest a small moon base hidden behind an ice belt. The trip was dangerous. Valari patrols flew through the area. One wrong move, and they'd be caught. Inside the ship, Aelin worked quietly, scanning for signals. Ryan sat beside her, watching stars blur past. "Are you ever afraid?" he asked. "Yes," she said softly. "But fear doesn't stop me. It reminds me why I keep going." He nodded slowly. "Back on Earth," he said, "I always felt invisible. Like I didn't matter." Alan looked at him. "You were not invisible," she said. "You were waiting." They reached Lyra's Rest in the early hours of their third day. The colony was small and cold. Ice covered most buildings. The people there looked tired and worn out. They had heard rumors of war, but they had not seen hope. Until now. Ryan stood before the leaders and told them the story of Vera 9. The battle, the unity, the voice that was finally heard. Aline spoke next. "We don't ask you to fight for me. We ask you to fight for the chance that something new is possible." A long silence followed. Then the oldest leader stood. "We will send ships. Not many, but enough." Alan smiled. Ryan breathed in relief. Back at Vera 9, more news arrived. 2 other colonies had answered the call. Small but ready to help, but so had the Valari. Their ships were coming, fast, heavy, and full of weapons. The colony had 1 week to prepare. Everyone worked day and night. The Circle trained harder. Weapons were upgraded. Old ships were fixed. Alan and Rian worked side by side, guiding and inspiring. On the last night before the battle, Rian sat alone near the edge of the base, looking up at the stars. Aelin found him there. "Are you ready?" she asked. He shook his head. "No, but I'll fight anyway." She sat beside him. "You've changed," she said. "You were once quiet. Now your voice carries strength." He looked at her. "And you were once alone. Now we're not," she said. They sat in silence, side by side. Then, in a soft voice, Aelin whispered, "Whatever happens, thank you for hearing me when no one else did." Ryan smiled, though his heart was heavy. "You whispered first," he said. "That changed everything." The next morning, the sky above Vera 9 turned red. The Valari had arrived. Their warships blocked the sun. Their voice echoed through every speaker. "Give us the traitor, or burn!" Alan stood in front of the colony gates. She didn't hide. Rian stood with her, and behind them, the colony stood ready. The Valari fired the first shot, but this time, humans fired back. The battle had begun, and the fire inside both hearts, human and Sayari, burned brighter than any weapon. The first shot from the Valari ship hit the outer ridge, shaking the ground like thunder. Rocks fell. Dust rose. The people of the colony ran to their stations. Inside the main defense room, Ryan stood beside Commander Mira, watching the screen. "They're not holding back," Mira said. "They want to crush us." "We won't let them," Ryan said, his voice firm. Outside, Alan moved quickly, placing small glowing stones on the ground. They were Sayari defense tools. When activated, they created light walls to block enemy beams. Sayari and human fighters were ready. They stood behind sand walls and metal shields, holding their weapons, breathing fast but steady. In the sky, smaller ships began to drop down from the Volari cruiser. Black and sharp like knives, they flew toward the colony like a swarm. Ryan looked at the screen. "We'll be surrounded in minutes." "Then we hold the center," Mira said, "and we protect Aline." The battle began. Volari soldiers landed near the front line. Tall, with glowing red eyes and strong armor, they looked like walking shadows. But the defenders of Vera 9 did not run. The circle, made of both humans and Sayari, stood together and fired their weapons. Some used blasters, others used sound tools or light traps. The Volari were shocked at how well the defenders fought back. Ryan was in the middle of the fight, moving between cover, firing at the attackers. His Veen stone glowed, helping him create small shields when the enemy aimed at him. He had never been in a real war before, but he wasn't afraid. He was ready. At the top of the control tower, Aline stood alone. Her hands moved quickly over her own device, a round stone full of soft lights and energy. She was calling out to other Sayari ships. "To anyone listening, we are under attack," she said calmly into the signal. "This is Vera 9. We fight not just for survival, we fight for change." Below her, the ground shook again. A Volari tank fired at the colony wall. Half of the wall broke. Rian saw it and ran toward it. A group of defenders was stuck behind with no way out. He shouted, "Follow me!" He ran through fire and smoke, using his Veen stone to block blasts. The defenders followed, and they made it back to safety. One of them, a Sayari girl named Nali, looked at Ryan with wide eyes. "You saved us." "Alien would have done the same," he said. But the Volari kept coming. Their numbers were large. Their weapons were strong. Even with all their courage, Vera 9 was beginning to break. Aelin climbed down from the tower and found Ryan in the central square. His face was dirty, his arm bleeding from a blast. "You need help," she said. "No, time," he said. "We're losing." She looked around. Fires burned in the sky. People were tired. Walls were falling. Then she said something Ryan didn't expect. "I have a plan, but I'll need to go out there." Ryan's eyes widened. "Aline, they'll target you." She nodded. "Yes, but I'm the only one who can use the core." "The core?" Alan pulled out a small round object glowing bright blue. "This is Sayari star energy. If placed at the center of their landing ship, it will break their command." Ryan stared at her. "That's suicide." Aline stepped closer to him. "Do you trust me?" she asked. Ryan hesitated, then nodded. "Always." She gave him a soft smile. "I knew you would." They moved through the smoke-filled paths. Ryan guided her past the worst areas. Alan carried the energy core in her hands, holding it like something sacred. Near the enemy ship, they stopped. The air was hot, full of noise and light. "This is as far as you go," Aelin said. "No," Ryan said. "I'm going with you." She looked into his eyes. "If something happens to me, you have to tell them. Tell Earth. Tell the Sayari. This day matters." Rian's hands shook. "Don't say that." Alan leaned in close. "Then promise me," she whispered. "You'll keep speaking when I cannot." Rian closed his eyes and nodded. She squeezed his hand once, then ran toward the enemy ship. Rian watched, heart pounding. Alan moved like wind, fast and graceful. She reached the base of the Volari ship. Beams flew past her, but none hit. She placed the core on the central support and whispered a word in her own language. The light from the core grew brighter and brighter, then exploded into the sky. Not fire, not death, just pure, blinding energy. The Valari systems shut down. Their ships froze. Their weapons stopped working. The sky cleared. The battlefield went silent. Ryan ran toward the blast point. He found Alan lying on the ground, her eyes half open. He dropped to his knees beside her. "You did it," he said, his voice shaking. "You did it," she smiled weakly. "I knew. You'd still be here." He held her hand. "You saved us all." Aline closed her eyes for a moment, breathing slowly. Around them, the people of Vera 9 began to cheer. The Valari had lost. That night, the fires were put out. The colony was still standing. Barely. But it had survived. Ryan sat beside Alan in the medical bay. She was resting, her heartbeat slow but steady. He looked at the stars outside the window. He had once believed no one would say yes. But one voice had changed everything. And now, the galaxy had finally begun to listen. The battle was over, but the stars above Vera 9 still carried the scars. Broken pieces of ships floated in orbit. The air was thick with smoke. Buildings were damaged, and many people were resting in medical shelters. But the colony had survived, and, more importantly, it had won. Rianne stood in the middle of the square, looking around. People were moving slowly, helping one another. Humans and Sayari worked together, as if they had always been one people. For the first time, there was no fear in their eyes. He still couldn't believe it. They had fought the Valari, and they had pushed them back. Inside the medical room, Alan lay quietly on a soft bed. Her body was weak, but her spirit had not faded. Rian sat beside her, holding her hand. The blue light from the Veen stone on his chest softly glowed as if it was connected to her. "You saved everyone," he said. Her lips moved slightly. "Not alone." He leaned closer. "You nearly died," he said. "But I didn't," she whispered. "Because you were here." Ryan smiled. "Always." She opened her eyes a little more. "Now we must speak, not just to this colony, but to the galaxy." A few days later, the leaders of Vera 9 met in the repaired command room. Communication equipment had been fixed. Power was low, but strong enough to send a signal. Aline stood in front of the screen, wearing a light robe and a small stone necklace. Her silver skin had color again. Her voice was clear. Ryan stood beside her. "We want to send a message," Aline said. "To Earth, to all human colonies, to Sayari in hiding, even to the Valari." Commander Mira looked worried. "The Valari will hear it too." "Yes," Ryan said. "Let them," Mira sighed. "All right. What will you say?" Aline looked at the camera, then spoke softly. "I am Alan, of the Sayari. I speak with Rian of Earth. Together, we ask you to listen." The message was short, but powerful. Alan spoke of peace, unity, and hope. She spoke of what happened on Vera 9. She explained how the Sayari were not enemies and how humans and Sayari could stand together. She told the story of trust, how one human answered a signal, and how that small choice changed everything. Then Rian spoke. "I was once just a technician. I thought no one would hear me. But someone did. Now I speak not as a soldier, but as a human who believes we can be more than what we were." At the end, Alin whispered the last line. One voice is enough to begin, even if it shakes the stars. The message was sent into deep space. Over the next few days, answers came. Some human colonies replied first. One from Nova 3 sent their support. Another from Orland's Reach sent supplies and medics. Small, quiet places forgotten by Earth, but full of strong hearts. Then came the shock. A message from Earth Command. Ryan and Alin listened together in the meeting room. A calm voice came through the speakers. This is Commander Dale of Earth. Central. We received your message. It was unexpected. We do not fully understand what happened on Vera 9, but we have decided to send an envoy. We want to talk. Ryan's eyes widened. Aline stayed still, then smiled. You did it, she said softly. No, Ryan replied. We did. Preparations began. Vera 9 was still weak, but it cleaned itself up fast. Flags were raised. Welcome. Areas were built. Alin and Rian were chosen as the main envoys. Together, they would speak with Earth's team. They practiced for days. What to say, what not to say, how to explain things clearly. But not everyone was calm. Some Sayari feared. Earth would reject them again. Some humans still had doubts about trusting aliens. One evening, Rian stood outside looking at the stars. Alin joined him. Do you think they'll really listen? He asked. They listened once, she said. That's how all change begins. He nodded. It's strange. All of this started because I answered a signal. I didn't think anything would happen. But something did, Alin said. You broke the silence. Finally, the Earth ship arrived. It was large, silver, and strong. It landed outside the colony without any weapons showing. That was a good sign. 3 people stepped out. 2 humans in dark suits, and 1 tall officer in a blue uniform, Commander Dale. He looked around, calm and serious. Alin stepped forward. So did Ryan. For a moment, no one spoke. Then Dale said, You're Alin? Yes, she said. And this is Ryan. He looked at Ryan. You helped an alien without permission from Earth. You broke protocol. I know, Ryan said. But I'd do it again. Dale was quiet, then said, Good. Ryan blinked. Wait. What? You reminded us what humans are supposed to be, Dale said. You made a choice, and that choice saved a colony. Aline stepped forward. Will you help us now? Dale looked at the people of Vera 9, humans and Sayari standing together. Yes, he said. Earth will speak with the Sayari, and maybe this will be the beginning of something new. That night, the colony held a gathering. There were lights, music, and warm food. People laughed. Children ran. No one looked at Alin like she was a threat anymore. She stood near the fire, watching the stars. Ryan joined her. You whispered something that day at the station, he said, when I thought you'd say no. I remember, she said. What was it again? She smiled. I said, then ask me instead. He nodded. And now? Aline looked up at the sky. Now, the whole galaxy is starting to ask. The sun rose gently over the hills of Vera 9. The sky was golden, with clouds shaped like soft feathers drifting across. For the first time in a long time, there was peace. The war with the Valari had ended. For now. Earth had sent its first peaceful message. And the humans and Sayari had started something new. But for Ryan, things were only just beginning. He stood at the edge of the colony, beside the newly built Unity Hall. It was made from both human steel and Sayari crystal. The walls shimmered with light, and the roof was open to the stars. Today, a new council would be formed, a council of two peoples, human and Sayari, working together. Inside the Unity Hall, people gathered. There were leaders from other colonies, a few scientists, soldiers, builders, farmers, even young students. No one had expected this moment to come. Many were still unsure. But curiosity brought them here. At the center stood Rian and Alan. They were not the most powerful people, but they were the ones who had spoken first. They were the ones who had trusted when no one else would. That meant something. Rian took a deep breath and stepped forward. His voice was clear, though his hands shook slightly. "My name is Rian. I was a simple technician on this colony. I didn't expect to be a hero. I didn't expect to speak in a hall like this." Some people smiled. Some looked surprised. But one day I found a signal, and instead of ignoring it, I answered. That choice brought me here. He looked at Alan. She was supposed to be an enemy, but she became someone I trust more than anyone. Alan stepped beside him. "My name is Aline," she said. "I was raised to stay silent. I was told to hide, but I spoke. And when I did, he listened." Her voice echoed in the hall. "We come from different stars, but we dream the same dreams. We want to live, to build, to laugh, to love." A few people nodded. A few looked down, thoughtful. "So let this be the start," she continued. "Let today be the day we stop waiting for others to fix things. We begin, here and now, as friends." After the speech, there was quiet. Then someone clapped. Then another. Slowly, the whole hall stood and applauded. A man from Earth Command spoke. "First, you may not be leaders by rank," he said, "but today you led by heart. I believe many will follow." A Sayari elder came forward. "For generations we hid in the dark, but now we see light again. Thank you." Over the next few weeks, many changes happened. Ships began arriving from nearby colonies. Supplies were shared. Old weapons were melted down and turned into tools. Walls were turned into bridges. Schools were rebuilt, now with humans and Sayari learning side by side. Young ones asked questions no one had ever dared to ask before. Why were we afraid? What else is out there? Can we go together? The answer was always, yes, we can. One evening, Ryan and Alan walked along the cliff edge. The stars above were bright, and a gentle wind moved through the trees. "So," Ryan said, "do you think we've changed the galaxy?" Aline looked up. "Not yet," she said. "But we've changed one world, and that's how it starts." Ryan smiled. "I never thought I'd be part of something like this." "I never thought I'd survive the war," Alan said softly. "But here we are." They sat down on a flat stone. Silence passed between them. Not heavy, not awkward, just peaceful. "You still remember that day?" Ryan asked. "The first time we met?" she replied. He nodded. "I was scared," he said. "Not of you, of being wrong, of being foolish." "But you weren't," she said. "You were brave. You listened when it mattered." "You could have said no." Alan smiled. "I didn't," she said. "And now the whole galaxy is listening." News spread faster than anyone expected. The story of Vera 9, of the Human and Sayari Alliance, reached far systems. Some colonies asked for help. Others sent gifts. A few even offered to join the council. Not everyone was friendly. Some groups rejected the idea. A few even sent threats. But most stayed quiet, watching. Hope was louder than hate, and that was enough. Then one morning a strange signal arrived. It was old, deep Valari code, but not like the ones used during war. This one was soft, curious, almost like a question. Aileen studied it for hours. Her eyes widened. "This is not an attack signal," she said. "Then what is it?" Mira asked. "It's a message," Alan said. "A personal one." Ryan came over. "What does it say?" She read it again. Then slowly she translated it. "We heard your voice. We watched from far. We are not all the same. May we speak?" The room was silent. Mira crossed her arms. "Valari? Are they asking for peace?" "They might be," Alan said. Rian looked at her. "Will you answer?" She turned to him. "You were the first to listen, Ryan. Maybe it's time we do it again." He nodded. "Then let's answer. One voice at a time." The reply was simple. "We are here. We are listening. Come in peace." And with that, another door opened. One small signal. One brave choice. One moment of trust. That was how it all began. Not with war, but with a whisper.